to think I have you, but I don't like to lie. So I lie here while you lie to her. Want to think you have me, cause you don't like to lose, but you lose me like they always do. Think I know you better, better to forget her. Certain people made for running. Think I need you more than let you know I'm bored, and tell me this means more than nothing. All you see is black roses. Could have been, but that's hoping. Don't ask for something more than yours. All you see is black roses. Could have been, but that's hoping. Don't ask for something more than yours. All you see is black roses. Want to think I love you, but I just love the high, and I lie here while you lie to her. Think I know you better, better to forget her. Certain people made for running. Think I need you more than let you know I'm bored, and tell me this means more than nothing. All you see is black roses. Could have been, but that's hoping. Don't ask for something more than yours. All you see is black roses. Could have been, but that's hoping. Don't ask for something more than yours. All you see is black roses. No place to call my own. Yeah, I'm hoping if somebody brings me home. Tell me I'm not lost that I see. Tell me that you're listening to me, feeling misplaced. Someone rescue me. Someone rescue me. Someone take me. I'm between two different things. Yeah, I'm thinking too much, I'm bursting at the seams. Tell me I'm not lost out at sea. Tell me that you're listening to me, feeling misplaced. Someone rescue me. Someone
remember what I said, spoken in the dead of night. We're through. I hear voices in my head saying that.
Hello, Wizard World. I am Mike G. Welcome to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. During these tough times, we are bringing the Comic-Con to your home for completely free. Thank you for joining us. We have fans from around the world right now watching on Facebook Live, Twitch, and YouTube. And you can ask questions. This is a live Q&A, and we have an extraordinary actor that we're going to be bringing out in a few moments. You know exactly who he is because his name's at the bottom of the screen right there. So if you do have a question for Mr. Ed Asner, please go ahead and just tag at Wizard World or at Wizard World Virtual. Throw your question in there. We will get to as many as we can. We do have a limited window here for our free panel, but we want to really show our love and support for all the fans out there. And so please, please do that. You can also purchase more personalized settings and things for Mr. Ed Asner. If you go to wizd.me/virtual, we've got live one-on-one chats that'll happen immediately following this free panel. We have video recorded messages and an autograph. You can choose an 8x10 photo or an 11x17 lithograph. Those are available for purchase throughout this feed, and then additionally afterwards. So definitely head to wizd.me/virtual. You can also scroll down on your screen if you're on Twitch, and you'll see Ed's amazing face there with all of his credits. You can go ahead and click on that. It'll take you directly to our paid site. So if you can right now, and you'd like to purchase one of those options, feel free to do so throughout this feed. We are trying to bring you these amazing chats and Q&As with these amazing actors. We're also trying to support our local artists and vendors. We obviously can't have physical conventions, so we want to shout out to them and show them some love as well. If you head to wizardworldvault.com, again, wizardworldvault.com, we've got some amazing arts and crafts from all of our awesome vendors and comic book artists there. So definitely check them out and support them as well if you can. But that's enough rambling from me. Again, keep purchasing those live one-on-one chats, video recorded messages, and autographs. Head to the Wizard World Vault. But without further ado, everyone watching from the safety of their home, hopefully staying safe, staying healthy, this next gentleman, I'm like getting goosebumps even setting this up. This next gentleman is a prolific star and actor of stage, television, and film. He's an author of The Grouchy Historian. An old-time lefty defends our Constitution against right-wing hypocrites and nut jobs. He is a voiceover actor in numerous series: Star Wars, Spider-Man, Batman. He's the voice of J. Jonah Jameson and Carl Fredricksen in Disney Pixar's Up. He has played Santa 5 times, most notably in the hit holiday film Elf. He is a 7-time Emmy winner. Twice for 2 miniseries, one for Rich Man, Poor Man, and for the brilliant series Roots, both of those amazing miniseries. He won 5 times in both the comedy and drama category for an actor for this iconic character where we first met him and grew to love him. That character is Lou Grant from Lou Grant and the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Please, wherever you are, give us some virtual love and some real applause in your homes for the amazing Mr. Ed Asner, everybody. Come on.
Who was that boss?
Or as he has named himself, Ed freaking Asner. Yeah. I love it. Thank you, Ed, for being here. So great to see you. I'd love to just kick things off and just ask you, there's so many people watching from around the globe on multiple streaming devices. We're in a tough time right now where we're all kind of stuck in our homes. You know, how are you doing? How have you been holding up? How have things been going on your end?
Well, I shot my daughter this morning.
What?
Well, she got on my nerves. I'm aiming for my grandson this afternoon. And I'm going to ask politely for my son, Liza's twin, to pick up the remains.
This started dark very quickly. Are you that frustrated with your family being around you 24/7 every day?
Yes, good God. It was bad enough in normal times. Now they're yawing and yammering, and it's driving me nuts.
Look at this.
I didn't think I'd last this long.
Well, you're doing great. Congratulations. My gosh, 90 years old and still working. That's what's been so amazing about your
Where
career.
am I working? There's nothing to work at.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, you're here. You're
Huh?
here for all the fans that are watching right now. So this is
right. Okay, this will work. Go ahead, folks.
We've got questions coming in from all over the place right now. I want to get to them because they are flooding in right now, and we want to get to as many questions for you as possible in the time allotted. You have a prolific career, hundreds of TV shows, films, voiceover performances, stage. What I'm most interested in is starting off with just like your beginnings. I know you started in Chicago at numerous locations there, and then moved to New York and actually was on Broadway for a while. And then, did countless TV shows and films, Mission Impossible, Outer Limits. You started with Jack Lemmon on Broadway. What was it that ultimately led, after kind of getting through all that, what was it that ultimately led to the casting and the audition for your role as Lou Grant on the Mary Tyler Moore Show?
Oh, well, I was merely one of a numerous bunch of submissions. Ethel Wynant was the vice president at CBS in charge of casting. And I did some show for her, but nothing that important. And Alan Burns, when he was talking about submissions by her for Mary Tyler Moore, said, can Ed Asner do comedy? And Ethel, without any okay from me or any knowledge of me, said, oh, he can do anything. And I almost did. But so then they had me come in and be interviewed. And I swept them off their feet.
What was that like? I mean, did you read with Mary Tyler Moore? Was she already, she was obviously part of the project to begin. Was that part of the casting and audition process?
My first reading was, I finished, and Jim Brooks, one of the two producers, Alan Burns being the other, said, that was a very intelligent reading. And I mumbled, yeah, but it wasn't funny. So he said, when we have you back with Mary, we want you to, it was a good sign, I'm being brought back. We wanted you to read it wiggy wild, all falling out crazy. I think that was to see how much of an ass I would make myself for producers. So I thought and thought and thought, and I said, so I started to walk out and I said, well, wait a minute, why don't you see if I can do it that way now? And then if I can't, you don't have to have me back.
Yeah.
Well, I've never talked like that in my life. But they said, oh, okay. So I tried it that way and they laughed. Why, I don't know. They said, do it just like that when we have you back with Mary. So I did. A week or two later, driving myself nuts, trying to remember what I did, I appeared with Mary to read for the scene. That was her hiring scene. And beautifully written scene. And I got the boys to laugh as I was supposedly delegated to do. And then years later, I found out that when I was out of the room, Mary turned to the producers and said, are you sure? Are you sure? They said, that's your Lou Grant.
So she wasn't on board.
Huh?
She wasn't on board right away. The producers were, but not Mary.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So, and she was right, because I thought I acted like an ass.
Well, I know I speak for the fans out there that we're super thankful that the producers made the right decision on this, because wow, the amount of years that we got with Lou Grant in a comedy series, and then later after that as in a dramatic series. My gosh, this, so many things. We have not only a bunch of fans watching, but then a bunch of folks from the media that are super interested in hearing all of your stories. And this is a question from Owen Cotter of McGill Media. And Owen's just wondering, as this accomplished actor, you've done voiceover, TV, film, stage, and a lot of fans are even asking this now, as I see in our Twitch feeds right now. In your own words, what would be a message that you would be able to deliver to any aspiring actors, to any viewers? What is it that you're looking for when you're giving any of these performances? What are you looking to deliver to the audience?
What kind of message? Well, perseverance, of course, is the absolute essential.
Sure.
Trying to see, how does this character differ from all the other characters in the world? What makes him special? What is his unique? In my case, it's my physical beauty that makes me special. But somebody else, I couldn't tell you. But in my case, it's definitely my physical beauty. Yeah.
You're all about putting that physical presence in front of your audiences.
Yeah. Adored by millions.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are not millions, but
Minions,
definitely thousands.
minions, not millions.
Oh, adored by your minions?
Yeah.
Or is that your family? Are you referring to your family as minions, Ed?
They don't do a very good job of worshiping me. I'd like you to work on my family while I'm off stage.
Done. I will speak with. Come on. Matt's right there, supporting you, helping you. My gosh, come on.
He's just sitting there thumbing through his voice, his speakerphone.
Let's talk about again.
The damn.
He doesn't give a damn.
Are you busy?
Who's that in the background?
I beg to differ.
Yeah, no, Matt, come on. Who's that in the background there, Ed? Way in the background.
Oh, that's my grandnephew.
Oh, what's up? Well, you have a whole household there, huh?
He's a film technician, and he's waiting out the virus attack, but he sure could use some work and money.
Well, hopefully there's someone out there.
Yes, you could too, could you?
What's that?
You could use that too, couldn't you?
Yeah, this is great. This is so much fun.
I could use it.
We can all use it right now, right?
Yeah, Matthew certainly needs a job.
Shout out to all the first responders out there who are still working and allowing us to sort of live safely.
Still living.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about, you mentioned just a second ago, Ed, that they brought you into the room and they asked you, like, can he do comedy? And, your agent's answer or manager's answer was like, oh, of course. You've gone back and forth throughout your career, and, it's interesting. How was that switch from the Mary Tyler Moore Show to Lou Grant? That there was comedic and dramatic elements in both, but obviously we went from a half-hour sitcom comedy to an hour-long drama. What was that like, creating that character and bringing that character back to life?
Well, as I said, Mary asked them privately, "Are you sure my being the Lou Grant?" And the producers responded, "That's your Lou Grant." I learned comedy in those 7 years of doing Mary Tyler Moore.
For sure.
It began to be like second nature for me. But when it was decided that I would want to go on doing whatever was necessary to have a show on CBS,
sure,
which they wanted. So I said, fine, yeah. And the two producers, Brooks and Burns, thought about it for a while. And they came back and they said, well, we think we we wanted to be the producers, but we think we'd like to try going to an hour format.
Oh,
Well, that's automatically not comedy.
no.
It's straight or chuckles drama. Uh, and we would like Ed to carry his character as Lou Grant over from the comedy into the hour show.
Yeah.
Well, a 3-camera half-hour show is a comedy, or was designed to be a comedy. An hour drama, such as Lou Grant turned out to be, showing what print journalism was like. And I was eager to get involved in doing that.
Sure.
But at the same time, there were laughs that crop up occasionally in the format of the show. And I realized that being an hour show, the crew could not laugh, no guests could laugh.
Wow.
And that it would be okay if people at home could laugh, to signal to them that it was okay to laugh. I developed a grimace, which meant it was okay to laugh. Looking at that face of mine, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
So I was in therapy at the time the show opened.
Wow.
And I was lying on the couch with this Freudian. I'm not with the Freudian, of the Freudian. And I finally said, well, what'd you think of the show when it opened? He said, nice. Well, why are you grimacing so much? And I thought, oh my God, he found me out. They saw my clue going down the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
And I stopped immediately and let people figure out for themselves when to laugh. So
there you go. And then successful, seasons later. My gosh, what an impactful show. And thank you to Colleen Egan Hillerup, who's watching on Facebook, who did ask about what your reaction was to the Lou Grant spinoff.
I'd like to meet her.
Yeah, I don't know where she is specifically right now, but she's watching on Facebook somewhere out there. So
I'm looking for you, Colleen.
You heard it, Colleen, right here first. Just direct message Ed Asner, and he will find her.
I want her.
Oh. Let's talk about it's so interesting. You mentioned, coming out of comedy, the comedic Lou Grant, and then trying to sort of wink at the audience, which is awesome, man. I'm so excited to go back and watch some Lou Grant episodes, the first season.
Yeah.
See those grimaces. But so many important topics were covered in that show. Obviously, ethical journalism questions. Is it okay to spin a story or to put false photos up? There was mental illness, civil rights, gay rights, domestic violence, pollution, capital punishment. My gosh, so many things were covered in that series, and it was so impactful. I just wonder, this is a question from @SteveLevy17. What are your opinions? He'd like to know, what are your opinions on the state of journalism today as it compares to the time of journalism of the Lou Grant show?
I was a feature pager of the high school newspaper. And I was busy working at my desk one day, and the beloved professor we had walked by, and he stopped and said, are you thinking of journalism as a career? And I said, yeah. He said, I wouldn't. And I said, why not? You can't make a living. Oh, that was in 1947. It certainly hasn't improved since then.
Yeah.
But it's print journalism is dying on the vine every moment of every living day.
For sure.
And God knows, it certainly is one area of information that we should not allow to go gently into that good night.
Yeah. What do you think you'd like to be? This is from Emily Packer, who's watching, and it just also follows.
Emily, huh? Oh,
Emily,
okay.
what do you think you'd like to be most remembered for? Is it the Lou Grant character? Is it stuff that you're doing now? The show had such an impact at the time, and you, I know, have such an impact in as Ed Asner in society with all of
Simple
your
name. It's really
charity.
not that difficult.
What's that?
It's a simple name. It's really not that difficult.
No, I know. I was saying an Ed.
Yeah, and,
But so much charity work you've done, and so much activism politically and also environmentally. Is it more that you'd like to be remembered for, or do you think it's more of the roles that you've played on screen that you hope have the biggest impact, or a combination of both?
I will never think I've done enough in terms of social servicing.
Hmm.
So I get a lot more credit than I deserve. Mike Farrell is certainly. I read a 2-page diatribe he wrote last night that I got last night, and it's certainly a wonderful piece of work attacking a person's political stance. And he's ongoing by creating the watchdog program on executions, etc.
Sure.
In my case, I guess I'll have to rely on the plenitude of minor appearances I've made in all those shows. Just the volume is enough to brag about, and I'll brag.
Yeah, no, you should, and you deserve it. You've done a ton of excellent work. The fans out there already on both of our feeds are thanking you for everything you've done. Specifically, Annie Cleary Malpede, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. Just thanking you for being a champion for autism and folks with autism. I know currently within the last couple of years, you opened the Ed Asner Family Center for
Son Matthew did, and his wife Nava.
Awesome.
They're responsible, and they've done a great job. Of course, the coronavirus has knocked the pegs out from everything in our lives. So I hope they'll survive this present assault.
Yeah, I took a look at the site. They're doing an admirable job, trying to provide that virtual enrichment for those kids out there. So anyway, congratulations on that, and we obviously all appreciate it as fans out there and everything.
I'm honored. They've honored me.
Yeah, it's really awesome. This is super interesting, though. I mean, I know you've done work with you were the president of SAG 2 terms. You have the Survivor Mitzvah Project, and happy Passover to everyone out there celebrating the Humane Borders. But a lot of our fans, we are a comic book convention company, and we have a ton of comic book fans. And I know we're going to get to the voiceover work you've done in the comic book industry, but this is so interesting. The Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, you were a huge part of free speech for comic book writers out there. And I would just love to hear, were you a fan, or have you been a comic book fan your entire life? And how did that lead to this fund coming about to provide free speech for comic book writers and artists?
Well, it's very, very simple. I was an ardent comic book reader as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I identify with them. I think that you sometimes, as I discovered, you get away with comedy or comic bookishness easier than you can real delivery, real stature. So more power to them, because it's a method of free speech.
It is.
And it should be honored and protected. We have a comic art auction every year for the fundraiser for the center, and it's worked well. So
that's awesome. Where can people find out more about that?
Um, I'll turn to
The
my
website.
Johnson here.
We do it once a year. It's usually in October through Heritage, and
Oh my gosh.
it'll be on the website when we're ready to go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Ed.
Mhm.
Just super awesome. Again, being a comic book fan, and my gosh, I'd love to turn to some voiceover work now, just because it's become such an awesome thing that you've done. Within the last 20 years. Most specifically with Carl Fredricksen of Up, who you are now well known and beloved. There's plenty of questions out there about your prep for that. Kayla Davis says specifically, what did you do to prepare for that character?
I gargled.
You just stayed yourself, right?
Yeah.
Did you know?
Carl was beautifully drawn, beautifully executed in terms of the ideas that created him. And that was really not difficult at all, trying to be that grumpy old man.
Is there a particular voice? Again, we mentioned J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, the 90s series, and you returned as Ben Parker. You've been a voice of the Star Wars universe, of the Batman animated universe, Freakazoid. Is there anything that particularly stands out to you as specifically the most fun thing to do within that industry, the voiceover industry?
Well, Granny Good was a ball, I'll tell you.
Ooh.
That was and it was a nice, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but every time I tried to be politically correct in who I was playing, they'd tell me, make her more feminine or make her less feminine. So I was busy bouncing around on the keyboard, finding the right voice for Granny Good.
Yeah.
Well,
What's that?
do you like me? Come, you can tell me. Come on.
I love it. I love it. Can I tell you my favorite voice that I didn't realize you were, but such an important part of my childhood, and I think such an awesome character is Hoggish Greedley from Captain Planet.
Oh, God, yeah. That was a lot of fun to discover. They drew him to look like me, as you could see, tubby as hell. And I decided to go into the piggishness of the character, and that was easy. And my bulldog is trying to clean up the floor underneath my feet. I drop occasional pieces of cereal, which delights him. So maybe in the end of the show, before we go, we can ask him a few questions.
Yeah, what's your bulldog's name?
Dudley.
Dudley. Oh my gosh, what a great
Dudley
name.
Do-Right.
I would love to end, and I know it kills every time someone puts a pet on Zoom virtually.
Yeah.
I know all the fans out there would love.
Who?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
There
Hello?
we go.
Hey Ed, sorry for that.
It's your fault, huh?
It was my fault. I'm such a hack. Specifically from Bullion, how does it feel now after this prolific career to be immortalized in so many different areas? You've got Carl Fredricksen in Disney Pixar's Up. You've been yourself on the Jay Leno show, and does this impress Ed Asner? You were yourself, or Lou Grant on the Cleveland show. Was it fun to realize that people were now appreciating you as Ed Asner, the actor? Any moments in your life that stand out as like, well, okay, like I've done some stuff here, and now I'm being immortalized in these different settings?
Well, it doesn't seem like standing still long in one character is going to do the trick. People are only seeming to appreciate my value in my hedge hopping aspect of performing.
Hmm.
I'd like to go back and just have them concentrate on Lou Grant and let it be that, and I'll be satisfied.
Yeah. Such an important character, and well deserved all of the Emmys you received. Up until just recently, the only actor to receive a Best Actor for Drama and Comedy, and then countless Lifetime Achievement Awards. So I know I speak for all the fans out there on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube Live, just saying thank you for all the work that you've done as a performer. This is next question is from
You see,
Larry.
I'm the only actor who has won for both sides.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
The same character.
Yeah, I know. I am amazed. It's not that hard.
But just being I know the number one in terms of wins, you are still the number one male on television for the amount of wins for acting, and then to do it in both categories. Again, there's an actress from Orange is the New Black who did it recently, but you were the first for the longest time. And that's what's so amazing about your career, was that you were able to go back and forth and give us so much amazing work in all different genres.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and so we thank you for that. Larry Gregoric would like to know out there on Facebook, what is oh my gosh, this is going to be a tough question because you've worked with so many amazing folks, but is there an actor that stands out to you as being your favorite, or the person you enjoyed working with the most?
Well, it's really a tough race, a tough tie
Sure.
between the elf of Will Ferrell
Oh,
and the Ted of Ted Knight.
yes. Both great.
They both made me look great.
Oh my gosh. Talk about Elf a little bit. That's like obviously most recent in people's memory. Obviously Ted Knight, my gosh, amazing performer. I'd love to hear any fun stories of working with both of those gentlemen, Will Ferrell and Ted Knight.
Well, all I have to do is envision Will Ferrell saying, regarding Santa Claus, "I know him." That to me is the greatest line in the world.
It is.
He knows me. And with Ted just had us in stitches every day of our lives in the 7 years of Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
So it was hard losing him.
It was. What a brilliant performer. And
Yeah.
my gosh, that cast, I mean, that's why the show is so good, right? I mean, that family, that cast, just bringing in all these types of people. Yeah. And really being at the forefront, having a woman lead who wasn't just serving her husband, right? Like that had a career and a position. You guys changed a lot of things and were at the forefront. Did you realize it during, a bunch of people asked this, and I apologize that I don't have it, the specific person up, but did you realize at the time how impactful Mary Tyler Moore would be, and then how that led to Lou Grant?
No, I had no idea.
I
I thought we had a funny little gathering of people, and great script writing, and all we had to do was say the lines and we'd be home free, and we were. It's still amazing and people are still watching.
Oh, 100%.
That was in like 1969, 68, 69, 70, was it? Okay.
No, it's had such a lasting impact on society, and it still lives out there. And thank goodness for things like TV Land and Nick at Night and stuff like that for keeping it alive. Was there, from Kim Emerson, was there a favorite episode of Mary Tyler Moore Show that you particularly remember as one of your favorites?
They're all favorites.
They're all good, right?
Of course, Chuckles the Clown Bites the Dust. It's a classic. And as usual, it was, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank now on the author.
David Lloyd.
David Lloyd.
Oh, yes, yes.
Forgive me. He he knew how to put two lines together and make a laugh out of it. It was great. You always knew you were taking no enemies, taking no prisoners
Yeah.
when you were doing his script.
What a brilliant writer. You've been so lucky to, and I think it's due to your amazing ability as an actor and why you've been selected to work with these amazing writers. Most recently, this is from Sean Kreider, Aaron Sorkin with Studio 60. Any great stories about that? What stood out to you about joining that show and that particular writer and creator and show creator?
Well, I always felt that uh, though he was trying to um sell the show on its youth by the love affair that was being conducted by four different people
Hmm.
on that show. That if he hadn't wasted time developing those characters and had spent more time with the rest of us, I think the show would still be on.
Agreed.
But that's spilled milk I'm crying about. He's a brilliant writer. God knows he's brilliant, both prosaically and poetically. But I I was sorry that they canceled the show
Yeah.
and that his genius could have been rediscovered again and again and again
Agreed.
if he had been writing uh, with different objects in mind.
What about some of, oh my gosh, tell us about what you've got going on. Everyone is super curious. I know we joked earlier about not being
That
able to
kills a
watch.
cat.
What's that?
That kills a cat.
You killed a cat?
No, curiosity killed a cat.
Oh, I know. And I've got loads and loads of curiosity about what you've continued to just work and not stop. And what drives you and keeps you motivated to keep acting. And is there anything recently that you've done? I know you wrote a book recently, which was brilliant. But also continue to act. Is there anything upcoming or recent? A lot of fans on all the platforms are curious about what your current passions are and what you're currently doing to keep.
Well, I tour with two different shows.
Yes.
One is a one-man show written by Edwin.
Man and his prostate, right?
Man and his prostate, and
Right.
it's magically written, so
So
I don't have to work very hard at all to make it go. And the other one is God Help Us.
yes.
It features a man and woman who were lovers, but whose political and social idealism were far apart from each other and eventually split. As God help us, appear and attempt to create a viable, workable solution with the two of them to be together. And I fail. And but the show does posit some great liberal progressive lines
Sure.
at this dangerous summit we're at now. So those two shows, no matter where I've been or where I've done them, I draw from the audience. I get my strength from the audience. I hate the travel of getting there, but once I get there, once I start to do the shows, my energy vats
Yeah.
and fats are restored.
Well, I know you started in theater. Your career began in theater, and we're so happy to see you back, both with God Help Us and A Man and His Prostate. We're unfortunately not able to be in a theater these days. Hopefully, that'll turn around soon. I know you said your love for the audience and getting strength from the audience is what you thrive off of. Just know, and I hope you go back and watch this, there is so much love and outpouring right now from all of the fans on all these virtual devices. You right now are giving us a brief respite from this crazy world right now. And so I'm speaking for everyone out there in the virtual world and saying thank you for being here and being amazing and giving us a little break from all of this.
Oh.
So the virtual audience is cheering for you right now.
Well, thank you, virtual audience. That's
Let's do. We're almost out of time.
The VA. Yeah.
We're almost out of time. We have to talk to your bulldog. But one quick final question from Kathleen.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. That's okay.
We're burrowing someplace. Go ahead.
No, yeah. One final thing, and then I'd love for you just to give one more shout out to the fans there. From Kathleen Gross, what 3 words would you use to describe Betty White? I know it's a tricky one.
Oh,
Throwing you a curveball in the end here.
You male hustler. I think I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Wow.
He's a good hustler of males.
Very nice. Well, we're almost out of time. Again, folks, if you do want a one-on-one video chat with Ed, you can still buy those autographs and video recorded messages. We could talk for hours, and I would love to just hear you tell your stories about your prolific career. Any last things or last words you want to shout out? Again, I know it's tough because we can't see the folks that are watching out there, but there's thousands of people watching from around the world, and we'd love to just hear any final sentiments, any thoughts, any words of optimism given these crazy times right now.
Well, we're about to emerge from the tunnel that we've been in the past month or two, and signs are looking good. And I'm proud to say that we're going to survive it.
Yeah.
So take great strength and hope in knowing that the future has to be better, because this is a part of the dark past we're emerging out of. I look forward to more years of trying to get you to laugh, you somber fellow, you.
Oh my gosh, awesome so much. Lou Grant couldn't have said it better, but it's not Lou Grant, it's the amazing, prolific actor and author and activist. Thank you for all you do, both on the stage, on the screen, and in society. One big virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. One more time for Mr. Ed Asner, everybody. Brilliant. So good talking to you. Thank you so much. And Matt, shout out to Matt. All right, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. Oh, what an amazing conversation. There were so many questions out there, and we could only get to as many as we could get to, but we appreciate all of the love and all of the support out here. This is Wizard World virtual experiences. We're going to continue to do this and provide some con entertainment for you throughout these tough times. And so just keep checking us out at Wizard World on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. I'm at Mike G Does Things. If you want to submit questions for any of the actors in our upcoming panels, feel free to tag me and shout out to me specifically, but always make sure to tag at Wizard World as well. # Wizard World Virtual Experiences. You can still buy one-on-one chats. I'm going to be hanging out here for a little bit. So if you have any questions, I'll be checking out specifically Twitch, but then we have folks checking out the questions on Facebook as well. We are going to be beginning the virtual private one-on-ones in about 15 minutes. So you still have about 15 to 20 minutes to purchase those if you're interested. And if you can, we understand these are tough times. So these are just ways that we're looking to provide fans with some fun con life, if you will. We're also doing autographs and video recorded messages. Those will come much later. We'll give Ed a chance to kind of relax and chill, and those will come within the first 30 days. But if you have any questions, go ahead and shout it out there in the comments. For those of you who are huge sci-fi and fantasy fans, next up this Saturday, the 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific, we have 6 amazing folks from the cast of The Magicians. So definitely come back for that. You can purchase all of those purchasable items by clicking their photo at the bottom of the page. Thank you all for hanging out. Yeah, and Wizard World Virtual, we just posted it in both comment sections. Go ahead and go to wizd.me/virtual. Again, thank you to everyone out there. awesome to speak to the amazing Ed Asner. What a prolific career, and we just barely scratched the surface, but it was so amazing for him to come out there. So feel free to throw any additional comments into the stream. If you do have a one-on-one video chat, you can go to your link now and you will be greeted by a nice little welcome message. You'll be in a waiting room. There won't be video or audio, but you'll see a little message here. Just hang tight. Again, we're going to give Ed a little break, and then he'll be coming back to that room and talking with you individually. So again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for being here. Again, check out The Magicians this Saturday, and then keep following our social media for all the amazing virtual chats we have coming up. Again, my name is Mike G from Wizard World. Thanks, y'all. Peace out.
You were the one to you. So why does it hurt? I left you first. Can't admit it to myself, but I guess I was wrong. Knew the entire time you were my dearly beloved. You were my dearly beloved. You were my dearly beloved. Can I do? So why do